My name's Steven Haney. I'm doing my informative speech about the dangers of cutting down trees. I want to start this with a funny story. My grandpa, he taught me how to use a chainsaw when I was younger, and he taught me most of the things I've learned in life. And he always said there's nothing more dangerous than two things that you can find on a farm: an old man on a tractor or an old man with a big chainsaw. That's kind of stuck with me, and now after doing the research, I have learned that the latter one is definitely something that is real. I want to start by saying the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, NOSHA, conducted a research on the dangers of using chainsaws, and during the time period of 1992 and 2007, a total of 1,285 workers died by performing tree care and maintenance. 40% of them were trimming and pruning. Most of the common causes were being struck by a tree or a limb that had fallen off of it. And then after that, it came by falls from on a tree or electrocutions. Nearly half of the fatalities occurred in a private residence, so you probably ought to get training. The most common events leading to death were being struck by a branch. Since 1992, the federal government's Bureau of Labor Statistics (BLS) has kept data on work-related deaths and injuries. Over a 22-year span, on average, 5,650 U.S. workers perish each year on a job due to injuries obtained from logging. This figure, logging has the most dangerous. They are the most dangerous occupation. They are nearly 30 times greater to die on the job than any other employee. Their figure of deaths due to the occupation is 91 in 100,000. I think the average is 30 in 100,000. It's pretty deadly. What? Okay, give me a second. Examine. Okay. Often, trees. When you're cutting down a tree, there's a thing they call a wedge, and you will cut a wedge into a tree, and a lot of that is so you can tell where you can make the tree go where you want to go. And a lot of the times when people get killed by a tree, it is when they're at home and they're not using the right equipment. And a lot of times it's from using machinery to push it over. For say, examining 780 logging deaths in between 1992 and 2000. They found that 15.6% of the fatalities were a result of machinery. That could be your chainsaw, you hitting something on while cutting, your chainsaw kicking back and hitting you in the throat, pushing something over with a truck if you don't know what you're doing while you're cutting down a tree. I've seen videos of people when they push over something with a truck, or they have a bobcat up against a tree. The tree, if you're trying to move a tree that's heavier than the bobcat, if the tree wants to go that way, the tree's going to go that way. I've seen people get crushed while using a bobcat trying to push over something. The remainder of the 780 logging deaths between 1992 and 2000, 84.4% were due to falling trees or rolling logs. So that means if you're not paying attention or you don't know what you're doing while cutting down the tree, that's the tree falling on you, or once the tree falls and you're cutting it up, the log rolling on top of you. This weekend I cut down a black locust tree, and due to the measurements that I took of it, because it's the biggest tree I ever cut down, I put it and looked up. It said on a logging website, I put in the measurements, and it said it was about 4,500 pounds. That's quite a bit to cut down. If I wasn't paying attention, or I wasn't watching what I was doing, that definitely could have killed somebody. If you don't, like I said, if you don't know what you're doing and you're not paying attention to stuff like widowmakers, which are branches up in trees, it's a very dangerous thing to end this, I want to say that to go into logging school, it is $1,500, which is not very expensive, and they teach you everything from cutting down trees, maintaining your chainsaw, knowing how to fall trees, which is the act of cutting them down. It's $1,500, and Dana Hinckley, he runs a logging safety program. He says one of the things I like that he said is they think they know how to cut down trees because Grandpa taught them how to do it, and that good old boy attitude keeps them from training. Is $1,500 not worth your life? Thank you.